Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Being poor in America is expensive as hell. One thing is not having the money. Another thing is having just enough to get by. And people make it seem like you have enough to do everything that you got set up. Man, you know what? Think about it. You go to pay something and you find out you don't have the money in your account, you get an overdraft fee of $35. Hell, it was bad enough you couldn't afford whatever it was you was trying to get. You thought you had the money, but yet instead a little bit went over and you couldn't afford it. Now you got a $35 overdraft fee. If you don't make your credit card payment on time, you got a $35 late fee. There's so many damn fees, man. I was looking at it. Going to the damn doctor is expensive as hell. I told you once they wanted me to go to specialists. The specialist visits were $50 damn dollars. And he was like, yeah, I want to see you 3 times this week. I said, that won't happen. I said, you see me one time this week, probably once next month, and the next after that. And he was like, why? I said, $50 each time is $150. I said, I don't got that money just to be given away. I said, if you can't discover shit wrong now, we need to part ways on this shit right here. I'm just being serious. People don't understand. People talking about hell. If food is really killing you, ain't too much killing me, but you need to pay attention. A lot of people don't look at this shit. They look at it from a different standpoint, man. $150 damn dollars you paying on debt. You work your entire fucking life. And at the end, you get a reprieve at like 67, close to 70. Motherfucker, look, you ain't got no more life left. They done took all the good years you got. The rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. And everybody talking about hell, we shouldn't be looking to the rich. Motherfucker, we should all band together and eat the fucking rich. Bro, look at this. We're starving out here. Man, I think people don't understand. They study raising the prices. The tariffs didn't hit and they raising prices any damn way. And you sitting here talking about, well, we got to give it to, fuck that. Dude, I'm tired of all that. People make it seem like poor is this dishonorable thing. Like, look, the middle class is gone, man. It's gone. They done took the middle class from us. Now you either the bottom class or that 1%. And trust me, people like, why do poor people dress like they rich? Poor people don't try to dress like they rich. Hell, you went out and bought clothes. People, using credit cards to, to live. They like, no, you went and bought clothes because you didn't have any. You went and bought food because you didn't have any. People are talking about Clarniers filing, for bankruptcy, basically. They're $165 million in debt. Because, they put it whereas you can do 4 easy payments if you buy groceries or, you go get your DoorDash order of a burrito, you get 4 easy payments. And people talking about, man, they ain't gonna never get that money back. Clarnia is smart as hell, just like any other place that do business with people. What they're gonna do is bundle all of that debt up and sell it. Then trust me, the debt collectors gonna come after your ass and start garnishing your check. See, you ain't get away with shit. My biggest thing, you got Uplift, Affirm, PayPal, which you pay later, and you got Clarnia. They found a way to make you think you winning. A lot of people, shit, I ain't on pay them. They got your social security number, bro. They got your ass. You thinking you ain't on pay, trust me. It all comes back on you, trust me. It ain't no escaping shit. I've been talking to a lot of y'all lately, and a lot of people make it seem like, oh man, what you going through? What America is going through, bro? What Americans are going through right now? When you sit here and, you get a car repair, man, then all of a sudden, you have some dental work need to be done. Then all of a sudden you got to go to the doctor. And people talking about rainy day funds. I hear people talking about saving fucking money. You can't save money you don't have. I don't get it. Where's people getting all this extra fucking money from that they can save? I'm going to just save. See, that's the problem with y'all. Nobody's saving. Saving what? Some people just have jobs that could pay the rent and the bills. The shit is so expensive. It's absurd at this particular point in time that people do not get it. If you paying $2,300 for rent. And people talking about you live in a cheaper place. That is the cheap place. That is the bad part of town. What the fuck you thinking? They all expensive now. Everybody want their money. What you thinking? Oh, you need to move out of Illinois. That's the problem. Where the hell I'm gonna go? Ain't a lot of other places paying really good, so where the hell I'm gonna go? You gonna go somewhere and you gonna get less? Come on now. You know, people telling you where to go, and I'm looking at the cost of living and I'm looking at what they pay. Bro, we ain't doing that. Look, I understand you talking, Chicago's so bad. Everywhere's bad right now. Shit, Chicagoans ain't the only one complaining. Hell, they complaining all over the country. All over the damn world. Shit is going on, and I don't think people get it. I think people sitting here just thinking, oh, they go past. You know, you got to give people time. Dude, look, I ain't worried about that shit. I'm not worried about all that. I'm looking at what's happening now. What relief are we getting? We fund world wars in other countries. We fund food in other damn countries. We give and we give. What are we getting? And they're using our taxpayers' dollars to do this shit. What are we getting out of any of this, bro? I want you to look at this. It's hard being poor. You know, I see people going through some shit. People like, but you not poor. Shit. I'm going to say it just like this, brother. I can't do all those things I want to do. You know, it ain't the toy situation, man. I got tired of that shit after I started looking at the real picture, bro. I want you to understand. There's so much going on that you just do not see it. Because either you don't want to, or, you know, it's sad that you got to figure out how to pay for your medication because the shit has went up. Then you start looking at your gas. Oh, the national average. But the gas here is damn near $4 and something. Then you talking about, hey, look, the food. You know, we're trying to do something with the food. The food prices are ridiculous. Man, you know, I don't believe there were anything wrong with the chickens and the eggs. I believe they manufactured something for us to pay and get all those damn eggs. Dude, like I said, now you don't see shit wrong anymore, right? It's funny how they got all their money up front, right? It's funny how all this shit is happening, man, and people are not looking at the bigger picture. You know, like I told you before, I see boots on cars going as far as I can see down the damn street. You got people getting tickets for shit they didn't even need to get a ticket for. You gave them a ticket for parking on a street that they need a sticker for. They got the sticker in the damn window. Why you give them a ticket? Well, you know, because just making up shit, bro. It's real out here. Talking about you can't park here when it's like this amount of snow. It ain't no damn snow on the ground. And it ain't that time of the year where you say I can't park here. You doing too damn much, bro. It's like everybody trying to get a dollar. And you sitting here, you just mad and you frustrated, you angry. And you study saying to yourself, it ain't the rich people's fault. You know, poor people need to live within their means. Bruh, some people live within their means. Dude, you can't live within your means when you're making nothing. You know, majority of the people in this country are poor, working poor. And you want them to save money of money they don't got. You know, like I said, some of those minimum payments people are paying, that's the only thing they can afford. And you sitting here like, why did they get a credit card?